Race fans, good evening and a very warm Elite Racing Network. Welcome to the historic Rockingham Speedway. Tonight, after 100 grueling laps of this high-banked 1-mile V-shaped oval, we set the field of 14 drivers who will have a chance to race for their first ever Elite Racing League crown in the chase for the Infinity Graphic Designs Dev Series Championship. I'm Cameron Rich, here in the booth with Mc Intosh and Chris Wright providing the camera shots tonight. If you missed last week, well, you didn't miss much. It was an off week. But 2 weeks ago, Jimmy Hayden captured a thrilling victory at the Talladega Superspeedway, cementing his points lead and his spot in the chase. 4 of the drivers are also locked in regardless of what happens tonight: Caleb Pecumer, Dylan Javier, Corey Abbott, and Caleb Pocock. Bristol Dirt winner Noah Brown sits on the cut line in 14th position with 2 points over Austin and Abnett and 8 points over Dave Huckleberry. For him, the task is simple: stay out of trouble and finish as high as possible. You see our track map and information on the screen there. 3 sets of tires in the pits, 78 degrees outside, a beautiful day for racing, and a tie. Always love coming to this race. We're going to see a lot of action tonight. 100 laps, plenty of time for these tires to wear out, and for a lot of carnage to happen.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, I don't think we could have been on 3 different racetracks okay, hold on. Let me rethink my words here. We could not have been on 3 different types of racetracks in this season. I mean, you go from dirt track to a super speedway, so now you're at Rockingham where the chaos is there. It's controlled. These guys have a lot of pressure on them, especially guys like Noah Brown who are on that cut line. Ultimately, they're going to have 100 laps here to see who's going to break and who's going to keep going.
And we have our first multi-pole winner of the season. Caleb Pecumer captures the pole with almost a 10th over the field on Gavin Higgins there, but he's going to start first. Third place is David Westergreen, and 4th is Pete Morales. Caleb Pocock rolls off in 5th. Bryce Fody 6th. Noah Brown, we just talked about him. He's in 7th, starting his night out pretty well, in a good position to make the chase for the championship. 8th place is Ryan Borges. He will be getting an EOL tonight, so he will not start there. Dylan Javier starts 9th. Austin and Abnett starts 10th. 11th place is Kurt Gibson. 12th place is Dominic Wright. Lucky number 13 will be Jaden Racimus, and Andrew Hardcastle rolls off in 14th.
15th for Scotty Larson, 16th for Frank Fody, Harrison Talon 17th, James Watson, who's close enough to the bubble to make a fight for it, he's going to roll off 18th, 19th for Pork Chop, Corey Abbott, 20th for Samuel Malone, 21st, Pierce Hausler, 22nd for Blake Wise, 23rd for Dave Huckleberry. He needs a clean race at the start, push hard at the end. Michael Goodman, 24th, 25th for Rashad Khosla, 26th, Johnny Thomas, 27th for Nigel Stock, and 28th shotgun on the field is going to be Connor Thompson-Gardner. So it's like Cam mentioned, Noah Brown in a really good spot to start this race as far as maintaining his position, maybe gaining a couple spots. Guys like, you look at it, Austin and Abnett, who is going to be 10th. He's going to be right behind Noah Brown. That's his closest competition, 2 points separated. They're going to be separated by about 3 spots on the racetrack to start this thing. So this is where that pressure is going to start to build on these guys. I'm sure they're feeling it right now while they're waiting for this race to go green. And it's going to be something that they're going to have to game plan for this whole 100-lap race here. So it's going to be exciting.
And someone who's not in the championship battle tonight, Johnny Thomas, he's making his series return since winning the race at the Legacy Atlanta back all the way in December of last year, December 30th to be exact. So we know he knows how to manage the tires. He knows how to manage what he needs to do that. So look for him to make a big charge from the back of the field. That'll provide us some excitement for tonight. But if we're getting going green here, I believe this is one of the tracks. It should be a 1 pace lap, but I could be wrong there. But we're getting doubled up here. And yeah, I mean, one of the things we're going to have to look for tonight, as we kind of mentioned, the tire management. You can go out there and run qualifying laps and get yourself out to a pretty big lead, but generally speaking, at this racetrack, especially in the 2012 configuration, before the subsequent repave, it will tear your tires up pretty badly there. So we'll see some comers and goers probably tonight. Probably the drivers who are able to manage their tires the best are going to be the most successful here tonight. And one of the things about this track that's always been the case is multiple grooves of racing on both ends of Speedway. So you'll see drivers on the high side of turns both 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Pace truck is in. Field's in the hands of Caleb Pecumer. There he goes. Good start for the whole field. Looks like we have a little bit of not a mess in the back, but they were not lined up as well as they could be. But through 1 and 2, it is Gavin Higgins and Pecumer. Gavin Higgins on that outside line is going to get the advantage down the backstretch. And that backstretch tightens up pretty quickly as you go through it. So these drivers are going to have to be very careful on this first lap of racing. But on the other end of the speedway here, you see Noah Brown there on the inside of the. He's almost 3 wide there for just a second, but Probably just trying to keep himself in a good position without having too much trouble here. Lots of racing all over this racetrack. We're still side by side just about everywhere.
And it's no
Oh, we got
surprise that,
trouble.
oh, we got trouble.
Already, yep, lap number 2, and believe that is the 80 of Kirk Gibson. Someone else there involved as
Andrew
well.
Hardcastle. Happened right around the 11th position. Oh, just loose.
Yeah, just lost up turn 2. Very easy to do there. That, as we were saying, that wall kind of juts out at you a little bit off turn 2, and it's really easy to get the car loose and get it a little bit out of control there. And just unfortunately for Hardcastle, no room to save it because there was a car there, and he's missing his front end. So that's going to be a long night for that number 22. And we'll see if he can get back out there and get something out of this race. But I think Gibson should be more or less fine. I don't see as much damage on that car, but I think we kind of already saw their tie. The high side might be the preferred groove on the restart through 1 and 2. It looks like Gavin Higgins was able to get a massive run. So we'll see how that plays out tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he took advantage of starting on that outside lane, and it got him clear on the front straightaway that last time around. So I would say right now he's in a pretty good spot. Somebody who isn't Andrew Hardcastle. He's 11th in the points. He only had about a 19-point gap. Or, sorry, wow, 12-point gap, actually. So that's even worse. So he's got a lot of left front damage. I'm looking at that thing. It's a little bit more skewed than he wants. He has no front end, so he's going to have to stick with it because at the end of the day, if something horrible were to happen and something not go the way that he would want, like somebody getting a win and getting boosted, that could bump him out of the chase. So he's going to have to stick with it. It's going to be a long night, like you said, but if anybody's going to be able to do it, I think it's Andrew Hardcastle. We've seen him fight through a lot of struggles this season. I mean, I think he's ultimately going to be okay, but this is a huge test for him.
Yep, another driver who is on the cut line, not as much on the cut line as Noah Brown, but Pete Morales, he's running 3rd right now, and he's got 3 points above Noah. So another driver that needs to come out here tonight and have a good run doing it right now. He's gained 1 spot on that start from 4th up to 3rd. So exactly what he needs out of this race. And Pete Morales, one of the drivers who does not have a win on the season, but we have seen him run really well. And he has, I do believe he has a few top 5s to his name. So we'll probably see him do well tonight. There's the 22 of Andrew Hardcastle in the pits. No front end. You're not supposed to see the radiator out of the machine like that. This is not a wheel-in modified. So he will be having some handling struggles through the rest of the race if they cannot bolt a front clip on that car. But 1 to green. Love these short cautions here at Rockingham. Gavin Higgins, as we kind of expected, he takes the high side for this lap 6 restart. So that will put that number 59 Pecumer on the bottom. And I just think that we're probably going to see that all night. I think down there in turns 1 and 2, really, as you see the tires wear off, you're probably going to see most of these drivers, well, provided we can actually get to that point in the run, you will see most of those drivers move up the track and kind of run in that wall, especially down there in turns 1 and 2. So definitely on the restart, one of the metas of iRacing, kind of you can go up there and really get a run off of most tracks, even if it's not really realistic. But that's just kind of how iRacing works. So Gavin Higgins choosing the line there, and that's going to be a pretty big boost for that number 9 of David Westergreen. Right there up on the high side. He's going to be right behind the leader and be able to probably have a little bit of a better start than the 95 of Pete Morales to his inside. So we'll see how that happens here in turns 1 and 2. But green flag is out. Great restart for that number 20 of Higgins. He shoots out there about 4 car lengths before we even get to turn 1. So now it's going to be a fight for 3rd. Pete Morales and David Westergreen going at it. Morales on the inside. We'll see if he can get the run off of turn number 2. He actually stays a little bit even with David Westergreen. So better than the restart first time we saw with Caleb Pecumer and Gavin Higgins. But really no surprise. Higgins is running so well here. Ooh, we have a caution.
Oh, Pierce Hausler.
Hausler.
If he had some help, I'd imagine so. That's a really awkward spot to be spun around right there. No? Well, I mean, that's the back half of the replay. We'll have to wait till we get a bit of a longer one. Oh, yeah, he had help. Well, I don't... Yes and no. I mean, he checked up, had a little bit of a lift there from the 33 of Blake Wise, and then Connor Thompson Gardner had his nose in there. He tried to not run into the 33, moved down a little bit. Just a tricky situation there. I would have to say that I think it is still mostly. Yeah, he wasn't quite clear of the 30 there. So
I'd say he had help from front and back and didn't help himself in the situation at all there. So just a bit of a unfortunate situation. Fortunately, though, he did not really hit anything that hard. Hardest thing he really hit was the rear end of Connor, or the rear end of the 33 and the front end of the 30 there. So no really hard wall contact for him. He should be fine. Get some new tires in the car and finish the race though. But 3 sets of tires in the pits. It's not something where you can make that decision without any kind of discretion. You really, Pierce Hausler, if he takes his tires now, it's lap 8. He's gonna have to run 90 plus laps on 2 sets of tires here at Rockingham, which is a pretty tall order. And if he decides to take those tires, that is something that's going to affect him later on in the race. So we'll see some strategies revolving around the tire calls here probably all night. Don't expect to see the leaders probably taking tires until around lap 25 to 30, if I had to take a guess. But have seen crazier things in the past with how these things work out. So we'll see what they do. They know a lot better than we do up in the booth. They're the ones driving the cars. We just talk about them. So hopefully another quick caution here. No cars a lap down, which is always a good sign. That gives us 1 lap of caution. And actually, pace truck lights are already off. So good to see that. Little quick roundup of the top 10 here. Not a whole lot of change. We haven't had enough laps to really make a difference in anything, but Gavin Higgins is your leader. Caleb Pecumer second. David Westergreen is third. Pete Morales is fourth. Bryce Fody is fifth. Austin Abnett sixth. Noah Brown seventh. Cale Pocock eighth. Dylan Javier ninth. And Dominic Wright is in the 10th position. Looking through the field, looks like our biggest mover so far is probably going to be, I think it might be Goody in the 44. Michael Goodman up 7 spots into the 24th, or 17th spot, excuse me. He started 24th, so we'll see if he can carry that momentum in that beautiful Dale Jr. inspired 44 machine, the Miss Goodies car. We're on board with him. We're going to go ahead and go on board with him on the restart, see what he sees here at the Rockingham Speedway. Green flag is out. And you can see how there's not a lot of visibility in front of you when you restart here at Rockingham. So kind of have to put a lot of faith in the cars in front of you and hope that they don't stack up. But through 1 and 2 here, he's on the outside line. And on the inside line, it was Harrison Talion. These actually looking like there was actually a 3 wide looking there for just a moment, but not going to do it. Pretty good call there not to take it 3 wide. One in the middle line here through turns 3 and 4. And that is a lap of the Rockingham Speedway.
Hard into the outside wall. That's going to check everybody up. Huge contact. He's still in the wall.
Yeah, that car is broken, and he's barely going there off of turn number 2. I think the steering is very much compromised.
Thought he was going to pull down an Andrew Hardcastle there and make more problems. Pete's definitely killed. I don't know if he had help. I was really just watching a rear chase view off of Gavin Higgins here. All the contact. Yeah, he had some help there. I mean, a mix of both. It looked like Pete was maybe trying to arc out towards the wall, and Abnett was trying to come down, but at the end of the day, that's going to be significant damage for Pete. And we have a yellow.
Yep,
Rashad Costa.
Third caution of the night, and on the backstretch there, I don't see a whole lot of damage for that car. I think, right there's going to be some damage, maybe more than I thought. And I think probably call that first wall contact from the 33 of Blake Wise might have been the cause of that. It's in the wall and just bounces down in the 54 there. Not much you can do there. There's already not much room there off of turn number 2. Blake Wise has had a rough night so far. He's kind of been in 2 of the accidents of the 3 cautions so far, so probably you might see the end of that. The 33 car, he is not does not have a front end on my screen. The hood's bouncing up and down, and definitely a suboptimal situation there. That's not how you want your race car to look here after 13 laps of a 100-lap race. So Rashad Kosla looking a little bit better, but he definitely made some pretty hard contact in the wall. You see the center punched front end there of the 54 machine. We might see our first retirements of the night. Definitely the 95 of Pete Morales. He's going to be the most damaged of the lot here, because that right rear kind of contact, or the right rear into the wall there, just absolutely destroyed the right front suspension of that car. He had no steering down in turn 1. So unfortunate situation for him. He was right there on the cut line. That might be, we'll have to check on the points later on if we can get an update, but definitely that could be championship hopes over for him?
I think while we have a second here, we're working this third caution. We'll go ahead and pay some bills. We'll be right back with you here at Rockingham Speedway.
This is Bobby Bolin from Tom Bolin Ford, and I have huge news for you. Right now, we are offering interest rates as low as 3.99 on most of our used cars. That's right, 3.99 happening right now. And it gets even better. These used vehicles come with the Bolin Lifetime Powertrain Warranty, giving you protection for the long haul. This is your chance to save big with incredible rates and shop our wide variety of trucks, vans, SUVs, and cars. Only at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
The Lucas Oil School of Racing. Simply stated, we are the professional ranks where the quality of the equipment often dictates the outcomes, and all of our cars are designed to perform and race as close as humanly possible. None of our competitors will have an advantage from engineering tactics. Rather, you will compete on a completely level field with a score of immensely talented up-and-coming drivers, all pushing each other to reach their new heights. Sure.
Yep. All right, welcome back to the Rockingham Speedway here, working our third caution of the night. Pace truck is in. These cautions are extremely short, and we have some issues on the restart here. The 20 of Gavin Higgins, who was your second place driver, is gone. I believe he might have fallen out, some network connection issues or something like that, but we are underway here. Caleb Cumer, big lead on account of those issues with Gavin Higgins, and that lead over David Westerling right now, your new second place driver. So we'll follow up what happened with Gavin here in just a moment when we learn what happened with him, but we are... if we can go about 3 laps of green here, this will be our longest run of the night. Shows you how the race has gone so far. Through 1 and 2, and certainly, yes, Gavin Higgins out of the race due to connection issues. He has just fallen out of the server, so unfortunate for him. That car looked very quick tonight. He was your second place starter and had led a few laps up to this point, so probably something that Caleb Cumer not too perturbed about, because he's got a 0.3 of a second lead over David Westergreen right now, and that has kind of made the mess of racing back in the pack a lot further away from himself as well. We have a big wad of cars. The battle for third looks like an absolute cluster right now, and there is another caution.
We might be in for one of those Ty McIntosh speeches that I gave him at Daytona that didn't really work, but I feel like we need one right now.
Samuel Malone there in currently on the turns 3 and 4 end of the speedway. Not sure what happened to him. We'll look at the replay. Replay tells all, and he lost it by himself. So hits the apron there, decambers the car, and around she goes, an inside wall. Same story as we've seen a few times there. Center punch front end, and it gets it going again. But either way, that's going to be our 4th caution, and I'm sure some of these other drivers are probably thinking just exactly what you said, Ty. They probably would rather be making green laps here than making caution laps all night. So we'll see if we can clean it up just a little bit. But either way, we did have Pete Morales here in the infield care center for just a moment, and he has unfortunately left. So we cannot get a word with him unless he comes back. If you still want to talk to us, Pete, feel free to join the care center again. We'll have the doctor look at you for a second time.
I don't think he's qualified, but he can look at you.
Yeah. But I mean, Ty, I am surprised about it, but I'm also not super surprised. Rockingham is it is a very tough track, just in every sense of the word. Kind of right up there with Darlington. They kind of, are similar in the vein that they're very fast tracks, and the banking's pretty high, and the tire wears are pretty high, and the quarters are pretty small. So not a lot of room for things to happen if someone makes a mistake. Generally speaking, you're going to see multiple cars involved in those kinds of incidents. So nature of a development series in this ARCA League definitely kind of showing its ugly head tonight, but I think we will be able to clean it up at some point.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, too, is these guys are really just trying to get in rhythm, and we haven't had a long enough green flag run for these guys to get into rhythm. I know Gavin Higgins and Caleb Cumer, they've clearly been in a rhythm. I mean, it's no surprise that 2 of our 3 multi-time winners this season are up front and contending for races. especially one on a track that's as difficult as Rockingham. David Westergreen, he's a veteran with experience. Austin and Abnett, even somebody with more experience than most here. And then, I mean, there's also just guys that are pretty new to this whole ARCA and oval thing in general, like Nigel Stock. He's having a decent night so far. He's 15th. He's kept his nose clean. He's somebody that I think is only on race number 3 with us. So a lot of different, levels of experience here at Rockingham, especially at Rockingham itself. This is a very bumpy racetrack. Like you said, the turns are tighter. The lack of ability to make mistakes here and get away with it because of how short this racetrack is not high. So there's a lot more pressure on these guys.
Absolutely. And Nigel Stock, I just want to give him a shout out. He's been one of the drivers that's kind of, from his first race, he's kind of coming here and he said, I don't have a lot of experience. I apologize in advance if I get in anybody, but for the most part, he's been pretty clean, pretty consistent, and running 15th in an elite racing league series at Rockingham is nothing to scoff at. All of these drivers, no matter where they are in the field, are pretty experienced and pretty good at what they do. So, definitely want to give some props to him for keeping it clean so far. Hopefully, he can keep that up the rest of the night. But pace truck is in there. Great restart for Caleb Kummer on that outside line. David Westergreen a little bit sleeping on the restart. It's going to be a battle between him and Dylan Javier in through turns 1 and 2. Dylan Javier, the teammate of Caleb Kummer, obviously, so probably going to want to get in front of Westergreen if he can, but he will not be able to, at least not yet. Westergreen keeps that position number 2. And we saw, unfortunately, David Westergreen DNQ'd last night's truck race at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, which Atlanta Motor Speedway, another one of those tracks that is a very high tire wear. He had a lot of hopes and dreams going into that race, had a lot of speed, he said, and just was not able to get the qualifying lap down. So wants to come out here tonight at Rockingham and prove a point. He's doing that pretty good right now. Noah Brown is trying to do that as well. He's up a few spots now he actually had fallen back to 8th, now up to 7th, trying to get some more, and probably a little bit happy that I think this might be our longest green flag run now. So he's able to actually make some racing laps here, and you can't do any passing under caution, so definitely wants to keep the green flag running going as much as we can there. Look through the field just a little bit there. That was Ryan Borges battling for 9th place with Dominic Wright. Borges actually started at the back of the pack, so he's going pretty well right now. There's Gavin Higgins, who is currently 3 laps down in the field, so I wouldn't say it's out of the question that he gets those laps back with the way the race is going now, but it will be a tough ask for him to just keep being that first car any laps down to get the lucky dog positions there. But Caleb Kummer, his lead's up to about 0.4 of a second now over David Westergreen, and looking pretty fast out there right now, Ty.
Yeah, no, I think anybody we expected to have a run like this would be Caleb Kummer. He's been quick all season. We saw him do it on multiple types of racetracks. He went out there and won at Belle Isle. He also won the opener at Texas. So there's a lot of different tracks that Caleb has been quick on. I'm not surprised to see him doing good here. David Westergreen, somebody who's really good at these types of tracks as well, able to pace himself, save his tire up. You look just behind them, Dylan Javier, Cale Pocock. Dylan, I would say, has had an off and on kind of season. He's somebody that's been around the top 5 in points and managed it really well. And then you look at somebody like Noah Brown, who's really kind of this back half of the season taken off. I mean, we saw him have a really good run at Talladega. That was just unfortunate running there at a plate track. He won Bristol Dirt after starting on the pole. The start of his season wasn't as great. He couldn't really keep his nose clean, but it wasn't due to his own incidents. And right now we got a battle for the lead. David Westergreen inside of Caleb Kummer. Huge run to the bottom. Caleb's going to have the momentum off of the top of 1 and 2. I think it's going to pull him dead even and just ahead of David Westergreen as we get to turns 3 and 4, but 3 and 4 is a lot more even with the banking.
Yep.
Oh, we got a yellow. Another one.
As you say that. I think it's, the 46 of Samuel Malone, and this time the car looks a little bit worse than it did the first time around, and has a lot more damage on the machine there, and off of turn number 2 again, so Samuel Malone is not enjoying that corner tonight, and
oh man,
he got into the wall, so nowhere for Rashad Coastal to go. The momentum loss when you get into the wall off these corners is just a lot. This track is so fast for what it is, and the momentum loss if you hit the wall is so extreme that kind of situation just is unfortunately kind of somewhat bound to happen here. But we do have Pete Morales in the infield care center, so while we're under this caution, why don't we go ahead and pull him in real quick and see what he thinks about the night tonight. Pete Morales, Cam Rich in the booth, you got a copy?
I got you.
Well, unfortunate end for your night. It did not last as long as I probably think you would have hoped so. But either way, tell us about how it went and what went wrong there with the 60.
So I kind of went with my gut there, saying that maybe he's not gonna be there. He's not gonna like get a run as he's not. I thought he wasn't gonna get as much of a big run as I thought he would, but I was wrong, and I kind of cut across his nose. So, but I can't really blame him either, because like the wall kind of juts out like at random places on the front stretch. So like you really don't want to hit that because these cars are very sensitive, and you don't want to be too close and just have it swing at you and just smack you in your door. So I was hoping that he wasn't going to be there, but he was, and fortunately ended our night.
Yeah, absolutely. You've had a pretty strong night up to this point, and you were right there on the cut line of the point situation. So, unfortunately for you, it's going to be a bit of a sweaty night. I think you're going to have to hope that some of those drivers behind have a little bit of trouble as well. But definitely looking forward to that. Going into next week. How are you looking forward to Vegas?
Well, I kind of have more confidence there because I ran I ran a little bit of ARCA, like the old ARCA car, like here at Rockingham, but I also have plenty of experience in the Cup cars, Xfinity, and or Rally, excuse me, and the trucks at Vegas. So I've done quite a few things here and there. I did coach someone to a win, but I didn't manage to get a win there myself yet. But we'll see. I do have pretty fast times there, and hopefully we get the outcome that is the opposite of this.
Absolutely. Well, we're going into turn 3 right now, Pete. Appreciate you talking to us. Tough luck out there tonight, but we'll keep an eye on the point situation and see where you end up.
Okie dokie.
All right, that was Pete Morales. Unfortunately, out of the race very early in. I believe it was like lap 11 where he had that issue with the 60 there. But another restart here for our 5th caution. David Westergaard on the outside. And a great restart for him, something we've seen all night with that outside leader car, and he's going to emulate it once again into turn number 1. A couple car lengths lead for the battle for second. Now Cale Pocock and James Watson going at it. James Watson started all the way back in the 18th spot. Not a great qualifying run for him, but no matter, as he is showing plenty of speed here. The top 4 drivers all stayed out, so we will see some differing tire strategies here.
Bryce Fody!
Oh,
hard into the outside wall.
Acosta involved in another one there, but Bryce Fody seemed to get the worst of it. Front end completely gone, and my goodness, that was a hard hit. Also, I believe that was the 98 there, Nigel Stock, who we unfortunately gave him some good props earlier, was not able to avoid that crash, but we'll see if he can get that car fixed up and a little bit better off. And there we go, so... Interesting. Unfortunate situation there, but yeah, 6th caution of the race. And we do have someone else in the infield care center. You want to go ahead and take him, Ty?
Sure.
I believe that's going to be Samuel Malone, so we'll see what he has to say.
Hey, Sam, it's type of the booth, buddy. You got a copy? Sam, it's type in the booth, buddy. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
I know it's not the way that you wanted your race to end. Just a couple normal Rockingham situations, kind of getting loose on the bottom and just struggling a little bit. Obviously, this being the last race of the regular season, how do you think you're going to have a mental reset here as we head towards the chase, even though you're not going to be in it?
Well, I kind of came into this season a little late, so I already had a sort of mindset going in that I'm just sort of here to turn some laps, be safe. Going into next season, I'm gonna try to give it my best shot. I'm still more focused on keeping the car safe. That's pretty
all right, buddy.
like, yeah.
Are you looking for anything as far as like one race on the season to wrap this up that you feel a little bit better about? That you feel like you might have a little bit more of an advantage than you have lately?
Definitely next week at Las Vegas and Charlotte, I'm a bit more confident on the 1.5 miles. So I'm definitely looking forward to those two race weekends.
All right, buddy. Well, before we let you out of here, anybody want to shout out?
Shout out to my older brother. He's my biggest supporter right now. And shout out to my boys in Earth. They know who they are. And that's about it. Thank you.
All right, buddy. I hope we get to hear from you on better circumstances next week. That is driver number 46, Samuel Malone.
Thank you.
All right. So we're getting the 1 to green signal here from the pace car. David Westergreen going to lead us back to the green. He has still stayed out. James Watson on his inside. Dylan Javier 3rd. Cale Pocock 4th. Ryan Borges 5th. Jaden Racema 6th. 7th, Noah Brown. 8th, Caleb Pacumer. 9th for Dominic Wright. And 10th for Frank Fody. Yeah, that's a little skewed, but that's kind of close enough. Pace car going to be turning in this time. David Westergreen, your leader on the outside. We've seen that a lot tonight. I expect to see that continue. Green flag's out. It's going to be another great jump from the outside lane. Dylan Javier, the second car, the first time we've seen them have a really good jump. That's going to make him side by side with James Watson as we roll through turns 1 and 2. James is going to fight back on the bottom. David Westergreen clear out front, though. No pressure right now on the back of driver number 9. So we look a little bit further back in the field. See mostly 2 wide, not quite any 3 wide. Caleb Pacumer on those fresh tires trying to work through. Noah Brown fighting with, I believe that's Cale Pocock, side by side for the 5th spot.
Noah Brown doing exactly what he needs to do tonight, and that's just keep his nose clean and stay out of trouble. And a top 5 finish would be the icing on the cake there, but he is up there in the 5th position. And some 3 wide further on back. Harrison Talion and Michael Goodman and Johnny Thomas all going at it there. That is for the 13th position. So Johnny Thomas, he started very far back in the field, almost shotgun, so doing some good moves to get himself back up. But Gavin Higgins was able to get 2 of his laps back after that connection issue. He's now 1 lap down, and the first car 1 lap down in that. So definitely a good chance we see him get back in the lead lap. And we saw how fast he was early on in the race. He might be able to get back up here in it. So definitely good to see that. David Huckleberry back there in 20th. One of our drivers that was around the points cut line just a little bit. He's was 8 points behind Noah Brown coming into this race. And with Brown runner up there in 5th and Huckleberry back in 20th, that is not looking good for his hopes here. But with Pete Morales having the issues, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out, because he can certainly make up enough points to pass that 95 here. Especially up here in front.
Borges and Javier starting to put some pressure on David Westergreen. Ryan Borges looks really quick right now. We haven't talked about him too much tonight, but he's been kind of sneakily inside the top 10, close to the top 5. And there's somebody that we have seen constantly kind of be the closer that we've seen. It's been Ryan Borges. I mean, he's kind of been up near everything, closer to the end of these races, and able to make the right moves at the right time. See David Westergreen maybe struggling with the handling of that car, especially on these 40-lap-old tires now, maybe trying to save a set, but he's definitely feeling that tire where he's sliding up in the middle of the corner. It's killing his run off the corner. And Dylan Javier is having no problems with that. You're seeing him work all the way up to the top. He's got a huge run now on those fresh tires. I think David Westergreen is in trouble.
Yeah, you see the tire lengths there on the screen. David Westergreen is the first car. He's the first car in the race and the first car on the old tires, and then it's all the way back to 8th place. Kel Pocock on the next driver on tires as old as him. So David Westergreen doing a great job out there on those old tires. It definitely will make you feel like a hero if you get the new tires on the car early and such, like Javier and Borges have. But either way, Westergreen doing exactly what he needs to do, and that's just kind of run his line and run up there on the high side and prevent that bottom side run from being effective for the 57 of here and the 42 of Borges. But Borges, no slouch to him. He started back in the pack. He took an EOL to start the race and has been able to drive himself up to the 3rd position. So would not be at all surprised to see that car up near the front at the end of the race here. But David Westergreen, you see, he's just starting to slide up a lot more each and every lap, and almost hit the wall there in turns 1 and 2. So just the grip is absolutely gone from that race car, and he is probably, if we were to look inside of him, he's maybe starting to swat flies a little bit here and there, just with how slidey he's getting there. But a little bit further on back is getting a little bit of we have a bit of a wad of cars, about 6th, 7th place on back here, and on board with Westergreen here. looking pretty decently smooth down the back stretch. Gonna take the middle to high line here in 3 and 4. No run from behind just yet. Actually, surprising that those two cars behind Western Green have not been able to make a more imperative move on this 9 car because of the tire difference there. But Western Green just able to put the car exactly where he needs to, and actually Javier's going to have a problem from behind, or excuse me, Ryan Borges. No, he was third already, so Ryan Borges now fighting for second with Javier. It'll be a tough ask on that inside line just because you don't have the space on the exit of the corner to make that move.
I think we might be having some Discord issues, possibly. Everybody's booping in and out. I think I booped in and out there.
Tech issues galore. You gotta love it. Love tech sometimes, but not much. You're not missing much at the front. Still, Western Green, Javier, and Borges all going at it. Western Green has kept that lead, doing a great job on those older tires. So this is the first kind of somewhat battle on the racetrack. Here comes Pecumer on the inside there of Dominic Wright. He's trying to get himself back up in the top 5 after pitting. And through turns 3 and 4, he's going to take that inside line and slides right up in front of the 12 of Dominic Wright. There was about 2 pennies worth of space there, and Caleb Pecumer absolutely took it all. I'm not sure if Dominic Wright's going to appreciate that move, but it was clean, and it did not cause any sort of issues there. A bit further on back.
Got a huge run. Dylan Javier underneath David Westergreen. These guys are getting packed up quick. Noah Brown has worked his way up to the rear end of the 42, so we're about to have a 4-car scrap here with about half this race left.
Yeah, Noah Brown, we don't see him in the camera shot just yet. He's right, he's right there on the left side of your screen. He was about a second behind these cars here, but on account of Javier and Westergreen going at it.
We're 3 wide!
Here, we're 3 wide for the lead. Yep, that is crazy. Ooh. This is good stuff.
Just that run off the top is so huge for David Westergreen, and I'm sure Dylan Javier probably had to lift, so it kind of killed his momentum, but the big winner there was Ryan Borges. I think at least for the moment, he's going to kind of get snuffed out here with the draft going to Noah Brown. Borges is going to have to ride the bottom again. Javier's going to put it right up on that wall. He's going to have a huge run towards David Westergreen.
And for Noah Brown, really just it's all about being patient right now, because you know, if they're 3 wide, 2 wide even, sometimes it is very hard to put your car in a place that's not going to cause an issue. And you know, he really just needs to come out here, and if he finished where he did now, he is absolutely going to make the chase. So really, since we are having a full points reset, everybody in the chase, the top 14, will reset to basically 0 points or all the same points as we go into next week's race in Las Vegas. There's really no benefit to being the points leader or any difference between being 1st and 14th going into that race. So really just need to be in it to win it, and right now Noah Brown absolutely is there. But you know, as a race car driver, I'm sure you would agree with this, Ty. Doesn't matter. You still want to come out here and win the race no matter what. So he's looking in front of his windshield there, and he's starting to smell a little bit of blood.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, even for guys like Caleb Pecumer and Cale Pocock and Jimmy Hayden, those guys are already locked in, but they have not just kind of wavered and let everybody else go fight for this win. They still want to win as many races as possible. You see David Westergreen working around Scott Larson. That's going to put a little bit of pressure on those guys working by him. They were a little too wide. Now they're all single file. We talk about Caleb Pecumer. He's now to the back bumper of Noah Brown, as is Cale Pocock working his way up there. So I think we're starting to see the guys that even pitted for tires are starting to struggle, not really saving their stuff enough. David Westergreen, though, still in the lead. see Gavin Higgins on your screen, still 1 lap down. The fastest car on the racetrack, however, he is absolutely moving. So if we get a yellow, as long as he's not in it, he will be the lucky dog. He will get his lap back. While we were yapping, Ryan Borges gets around Dylan Javier. Javier now in trouble, 3 wide for the 3rd spot. Noah Brown going to take the best of that right now. Ryan Borges, however, all over David Westergreen to his inside as we head down the front straightaway.
And Noah Brown almost ran in the back of Dylan Javier down on 1 and 2. That car was very quick to the center of the corner, but thankfully no contact there, and it was able to get around Javier. Javier now, like you said, he's loose there off of turn number 2, just losing a lot of grip right now. I think he might have cooked those tires somewhat, so you might see him fall a few further spots back. But the battle for the lead, strong. Ryan Borges on the inside there, trying to use all the racetrack he has, which most of it is occupied by David Westergreen, so cannot do that down in 1 and 2. David Westergreen has done a marvelous job here with keeping those tires under him. You know, he is on the oldest tires up here in the top 5, so he's doing a great job with what he has, which truthfully at this point in the run is not a lot, but has been able to keep the lead. And really, you know, Rockingham, if you can keep yourself on that high side no matter what, it is so hard to pass on the inside line just because of how this track works. But these drivers doing it very cleanly there, doing it very cleanly, very good racing, and you see the tire strategy there once again. Cale Pocock there in the 6th position, the next driver on those older tires, and he's fallen a ways away from this front group of 4, which includes Westergreen, Borges, Brown, and Humer.
I think the biggest advantage right now for David Westergreen is if we get a yellow, he hasn't burned a set of tires, and everybody else behind him is going to pit. I mean, they've had probably about 20 laps or so, so that's enough wear for somebody to come in and put a fresh set. You're at a disadvantage, so everybody's going to come down pit road. So this is still option A for David Westergreen, and he's working it out really well. You see Dylan Javier getting a little loose there. Gavin Higgins, again, not on the lead lap, but the fastest car on the racetrack. This is huge for him to keep pushing because if we were getting yellow, as long as he's not in it, he needs to be ahead of everybody that's a lap down. I think he's still, it's only him and Scotty Larson, who Scotty Larson does not really have a competitive race car. So maybe not as much pressure on Gavin Higgins, but still huge for him. As you see Ryan Borges now side by side with David Westergreen. We've seen it happen time and time again. I just don't think Ryan's going to have the run off the bottom, and he doesn't. David's going to clear. That's going to put Noah Brown up to the back bumper, and we have a yellow.
Yep, and that's exactly what Gavin Higgins there needed. He is going to be your lucky dog, and put himself back in the lead lap. I was actually thinking there for a second he might have gotten his lap back the hard way. And, ooh, Connor Thompson and Scotty Larson.
Goodness gracious.
That kind of eliminates the whole lucky dog conversation for Scotty Larson anyway, because he was in the wreck, and what a massive hit for the front end of that 30. He is going to be very much hurt from that, and might see the end of the night for that number 30 machine. And in the pits, it's Scotty Larson.
That's pretty significant contact there while we work this yellow. Gavin Higgins gets his lap back. We're going to pay some bills. We'll see you right back here at Rockingham.
Tickets for the 2026 season of Speed at Worldwide Technology Raceway are on sale now. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 and Celebration of 66 Festival, June 6th and 7th. The NASCAR Cup Series Enjoy Illinois 300, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Confluence Music Festival, September 11th through 13th. And the NHRA Napa Auto Parts Midwest Nationals, October 2nd through 4th. Save big by going to WWTRaceway.com.
The Lucas Oil School of Racing. Simply stated, we are the professional ranks where the quality of the equipment often dictates the outcomes, and all of our cars are designed to perform and race as close as humanly possible. None of our competitors will have an advantage from engineering tactics. Rather, you will compete on a completely level field with a score of immensely talented up-and-coming drivers, all pushing each other to reach their new heights in their respective pursuit in becoming a professional race car driver. Every year, our top-performing graduates move on to the professional racing ladders of IndyCar, F1, and IMSA. Whether drivers compete in 1 or 2 seasons of our series, when they are ready to move on, they are ready to move. The training you receive in our school is an unmatched, unforgettable, first-class education combining the very best racing instruction and education.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here at Rockingham Speedway, working caution number 7. Everybody came down and got 4 fresh tires. Gavin Higgins gets his lap back. Got about 34 laps to go here at the line. David Westergreen with another huge jump on that outside lane. Ryan Borges not quite able to get going. Caleb Becumer going to follow driver number 9 as we work towards turns 1 and 2. Noah Brown looking to make it maybe 3 wide for a second. That door's going to close quickly. Ryan Borges, though, able to get that run off the bottom, and he's side by side with Caleb Becumer, and we have another yellow. Oh, that's big. Oh, that's huge. Oh, no.
Yep, I see Pierce Housler involved. Andrew Hardcastle, second wreck of the day he's been involved in. And the front end of that machine not enjoying that whatsoever. Ooh, James Watson was the one who spun around in turns 1 and 2. Turn 2 to be exact there. And they all just stacked up behind him. So that is certainly a way for that to happen. We'll see what happened here with Hardcastle. He's see the issues right there, and just I think he got a little bit of a right rear from Michael Goodman there, just trying to avoid the spinning car, the brightest car on the track, by the way, the 39 of James Watson. But either way, I think probably Hardcastle going to be the big loser out of that one, as if he needed it more. He was already missing the entire front end, so
Oh, yeah.
probably not what he wanted to see, but definitely going to be an easy call there with James Watson just losing it out of turn number 2.
Little
And
dink
just
and
real
dunk.
quick, something that we want to bring up here. Already did, but Gavin Higgins, he was able to get his lap back there, and he's already up to the 13th position. So David Westergreen probably enjoyed that last caution for the fact that he could get tires on it, but probably not so much for the fact that the 20 is now on the lead lap again. So definitely look for that number 20 to be storming through the field.
Absolutely, and I think he should still have that. I think he's got 1 set of tires left. Everybody had 3. I think he's only burned 2. So I would expect him to be A-okay as far as that goes. You see Johnny Thomas, talked about him. We haven't seen him since he won in December. So far made his way up to 9th with about 32 laps to go. So going to be somebody to keep your eyes on. James Watson going to be on the rebound after that spin. Lots of guys that I think we need to keep our eyes on.
Yeah, lots of storylines kind of coming together in this last part of the race here. So definitely going to be watching that 20, going to be watching the 83. He's been slowly but surely making his way through the pack. Kind of a very quintessential Johnny Thomas race. Not really coming out here and making too much noise, but somehow just passing the cars like they need to and getting himself up in the top 10. So I don't think that's the last we'll see of the 83 if he can keep the nose clean there. But you know, a couple cars behind him, you see Kurt Gibson. He was the first caution of the night and has got himself up into the 11th spot. So good little recovery drive for him. Quick little refresh of the top 10. David Westergreen is first. Ryan Borges second. Third is Caleb Becumer. Fourth, Noah Brown. Fifth, Cale Pocock. Sixth, Corey Abbott. Seventh, Dylan Javier. Eighth is Dominic Wright. Ninth, Johnny Thomas. And at 10th place, Jaden Racimus. Jaden Racimus, another driver who was, I wouldn't say he was on the cut line, but he was, he is back in 6th place, so he should be pretty fine with a couple of the drivers not being here tonight. Notably, Jimmy Hayden, the points leader, not here in the race tonight, as well as Jacob Adams, P8, not here tonight. So pace truck is off there. I'm assuming we're going to see another big restart on the outside, and there it is from David Westergreen. We're on board with Gavin Higgins here to do this restart, so we'll see how he can navigate it through 1 and 2 here. He decides to stay on the bottom, which definitely where he started, and looking for 3 wide off at turn number 2 there. Frank Fody and Kurt Gibson on the outside of him.
Ooh, Frank's going to get tight. That's going to run Kurt near the wall. A couple of teammates.
Yep, opens the door for Gavin Higgins to make that pass pretty easy, and he's going to go ahead and drive around that 841 for just a moment, but here comes Frank Fody back on the outside. I think Gavin Higgins is probably going to get the spot here. Probably 2 for 1 there off of turn number 2. Gets Kurt Gibson as well, so just going to have to drive it into turn 3 a little bit harder than he would maybe like to, and Kurt Gibson does as well. Almost up into the wall there. No problem for him, and Gavin Higgins a little bit loose off of turn number 4. And at the line, move him to the 11th position.
He had a big wiggle off of 2 there, too. That's why I kind of made that noise there. It looked like he was maybe going to get sideways. You see him clear Kurt Gibson now. He's going to have Jaden Racines, and I believe that is Dominic Wright to work through. A couple more teammates. Meanwhile, David Westergreen absolutely gapping Noah Brown and Caleb Humer at the moment. With about 27 laps to go here at the line.
Noah Brown had a moment there off of turn number 4. Got very sideways and almost lost the second spot to Caleb Humer, but was able to keep the car under him. And we're still looking at this battle for the 10th position. Jaden Racines is sideways. And that's the 9th position now. He was sideways and almost lost the car, but thankfully kept it under him, and Gavin Higgins is going to take that position away from him now. So the charge of the 20 continues here with 26 laps to go. Not a whole lot, but not a small amount either. Or not a whole lot, but not a unattainable amount either there for Gavin Higgins to make up some more spots here. We'll see if he can get himself back into the top 5 and maybe challenge for the win, but this is the battle for second here right now. Noah Brown in that second position, followed by Caleb Humer and Ryan Borges. Corey Abbott, not someone we've talked about all night. He started all the way back in 19th and has driven his way up into the top 5. Pocock, another one of those drivers that had the old tires last caution, or before last caution, and was able to get those 4 Hoosier tires, or General Tire, whatever you want to call them now, same company. They were able to get them changed and get himself back into the fight here. But here's Johnny Thomas on Dylan Javier for 7th place. Just so hard to make that move stake on the inside line. And
did they make
really
contact?
Yeah, I believe just a little bit there off of turn number 2, and just not a lot of room here at the Rockingham Speedway. And Dylan Javier, a big defensive move into turn number 3.
Almost took the nose off of Johnny Thomas. Thankfully, that didn't happen. That was a huge move there. You see Johnny Thomas now struggling. Gavin Higgins trying to get around him, make his way back into that top 8, and it looks like he might be able to do so. Johnny's going to have a run off the top side. Going to be about dead even as we head towards 3 and 4. Gavin, I thought he was going to let him have it. Chooses not to. Johnny's going to put it all the way up on the wall. Gavin's going to take the middle away. That's going to ruin Johnny's run down the corner, but he's going to have it anyways.
Gavin got extremely loose there in the middle of 3 and 4, and was doing everything he could to keep that rear end under him, and thankfully did. But Johnny Thomas, with his drive through the field, not going to want to give it up to Gavin Higgins. Gavin Higgins also the fastest car on the track before that last caution. So these two drivers are going to have to figure it out some way, and for now, at least, they do. In front of them, they really, well, I say that as they get back single file, but they didn't figure it out for a while, and it was side-by-side with Javier and Cale Pocock. But here comes Johnny Thomas. Ooh, right on the left rear of that number 57, and that's going to open the door for Gavin Higgins to make another attempt here into turn number 3.
And Gavin starting to get the elbows out. I know he and Johnny were racing really hard there, but a little bit of a tap. Oh, Johnny Thomas and
wow.
Back into Gavin Higgins. They save it. I don't think there's going to be too many pleasantries there, especially if you're somebody that's trying to work through this. You got a yellow. It's not from that incident. It's going to be a little bit further back. Get a look at the replay cam to see who was involved. I would have to imagine it could be that one car of Jaden Racines, who is now on pit road. Yeah, it just gets loose hard into the inside wall, back up onto the racetrack. That's going to bring out yellow number 8.
Yeah, and unfortunate for him, he was running in the top 10, and that's definitely going to be the end of his night. That was a huge hit into the inside wall. I'm not really sure how he wrecked there, because that's a straightaway, and he did not go straight, so the inside wall is taking another victim here tonight. First time we've seen the front stretch inside wall be the culprit.
Yeah, it's usually
back stretch.
Yeah, there's a lot of grass down there that I feel like would kind of maybe allow somebody to save it, but with how hard he hit that outside wall, it kind of shot him, as you see, right in the inside wall. We're right on board with him here. I think, while we have some time here, about 20 to go, we'll go ahead and work our last break, and we'll be right back till the end before driver interviews.
Right now, Tom Bolin Ford, we're offering X-Plan pricing for everyone. Yes, you heard me right. Everyone. That means every customer can take advantage of special pricing normally reserved for employees of Ford partner companies. And all you have to do is walk through the door at Tom Bolin Ford. And it gets even better. Also receive a Bolin lifetime powertrain warranty, giving you long-term confidence for the miles ahead. Unbeatable pricing, lifetime protection, and a huge selection waiting for you right now. Only at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
Tickets for the 2026 Season of Speed at Worldwide Technology Raceway are on sale now. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 and Celebration of 66 Festival, June 6th and 7th. The NASCAR Cup Series Enjoy Illinois 300, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Confluence Music Festival, September 11th through 13th. And the NHRA Napa Auto Parts Midwest Nationals, October 2nd through 4th. Save big by going to WWTRaceway.com.
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
Welcome back to the Rockingham Speedway here in Rockingham, North Carolina, working our 9th caution of the night. It's been a brutal one, but we are getting to the end of it. We have about, that's going to be 17 laps to go, I believe. Plus or minus one. I'm not in the mood to do math up here, but that seems just about right. David Westergreen, your leader, Noah Brown second, Caleb Kumer third. It's pretty much been these three for the majority of the second half of this race. Ryan Borges fourth, Corey Abbott fifth, sixth is Cale Pocock, seventh Dylan Javier, eighth Gavin Higgins, ninth is Frank Fody, and 10th is Dominic Wright. And one notable exception out of the top 10 there, Johnny Thomas. We saw him have very hard contact there in the wall in turn number 4. I'd have to assume that there's some damage to the right side bodywork and suspension, and probably some other bits of the car that should be straight. And he did actually come down pit road and get tires, so we'll see if that is able to negate the damage on his car. Some others behind him as well, but Dave Westergreen there. Green flag is out. Start on the inside line. I think that's the first time tonight we've seen the leader start on the inside line, so we'll see how that works for him through 1 and 2. Battle for second place as the fog rolls in here to Rockingham. You see that our camera has washed out just a little bit, so the weather has deteriorated just a tad, but either way, still racing here. And we saw Noah Brown, bit of a bump down to the number 9 of Dave Westergreen down the backstretch there, and now he's under fire from the 59 of Caleb Kumer, battle for second place. And yeah, David Westergreen has done a great job. Since he took the lead, he has not relinquished it for really much time at all. So now it's going to be the true test of pace for him. 15 laps to go. He's going to have to hold off that 65 and that 59 car of Caleb Kumer. I think Noah Brown, if he can keep his nose clean, will lock himself into the chase with a top 5 run. He's been great all night, but has to keep his nose clean and make sure that he does not get himself in any issues up here. Like that outside wall that he almost hit off turn number 2.
Speaking with David Westergreen earlier, he said that he felt like the car was underneath him. He said he felt like he had a really good chance. And I asked him, I said, do you have any pressure? You're kind of in the middle of the chase. You don't have to worry about going out here and winning this race. You have no pressure. He said, no, I don't feel like I have the pressure, but I do want to get up here and fight for it. Like we were talking about earlier, you see Caleb Kumer and Noah Brown actually almost make contact, but David Westergreen kind of called a shot earlier, and right now he's looking to make it stick with about 12 to go.
Yep, he's looked stout since taking that lead, has looked very good all night long. Caleb Kumer, bad run there off turn number 4. He's going to be under fire from the 42 of Ryan Borges, and maybe the 21 of Corey Abbott there, but Corey Abbott takes the eyesight. He's not going to be able to do anything just yet. There's Gavin Higgins there in 6th place. His charge to the field continues after network issues, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it back to the front of the pack here, make it back to the lead, but definitely, no matter what, it is a strong drive for that number 20, and he is one of the drivers in the chase, so did not need some issues like the network issues, but has done a great job of recovering what he had tonight, and now fighting for the 5th place with Corey Abbott there. Going to be a tough ask for him on the bottom side. We've seen, trouble there off of turn number 2. Cale Pocock is around, and James Watson involved in, once again, in an accident, but to rewind this just a little bit further on back, I think, yeah, Cale Pocock and Dylan Javier got together at turn number 2, and That knocked the 66 sideways back into traffic, and unfortunately nowhere to go for James Watson. I believe that James should still have his front end, but Dominic Wright in the 12 involved there a little bit later on as well. Kurt Gibson I saw with no front end, so kind of a little mini big one here on the backstretch. And I think 1, 2, 3, 4 cars out. If we 4 or 5, I think somewhere around that number. And something that this track is pretty well known for, even in the real life. If you get trouble there off of turn number 2, definitely Dominic Wright, big trouble. That car is crabbing pretty significantly. You see his right hands are at the 9 o'clock position. That's not where they're supposed to be.
It's not ideal. They don't come like that.
Yeah, no, they do not come like that. They do not come. I hope that the car did not come like that, at least, because that is incorrect. That does not look comfortable or safe to drive. So I'm gonna have to assume that that might be a too much damage we're done. But
yeah, I would have to agree with Chris that is a TikTok shop purchase. However, I don't know. That could be some untapped potential for Dominic Wright. You see him slooting. Wow. All right, scooting through pit boxes. That's a new word right there.
So it's not too much damage. They're not too much damage. They're changing the tires, so he will be able to get back out on the racetrack at some point.
I mean, maybe he just needs a Hershey bar and a hug. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't we all? I could use a Hershey bar and hug. So there is an explanation for the Hershey bar and hug. We are absolutely not going to explain it, though, because that would probably get us demonetized and banned off YouTube. But either way, I think we're probably going to get 1 to green here after the pace car crosses the start-finish line, and survey says that is correct. So 1 lap to green here, working lap 93 of 100, so we will have 7 laps to go as we reach the start-finish line here. 10th caution of the night. And a quick little recap of the top 10 once again. Wester Green, Brown, Kumer, Borges, and Abbott, your top 5. Then it's Higgins, Habir, Fody, Thomas, and Watson. Even if after being involved in that wreck, Watson still remains in the top 10. Surprisingly, not a whole lot of damage on the front of that car after plunking. Well, I say not a lot. There actually is quite a bit on the right front. I was looking at the left front, but he still should have a little bit of pace in that car, hopefully, to remain in the top 10. We will see. Kurt Gibson, probably not. The whole front end is missing off of that machine, which we've seen that a few times tonight, unfortunately. And we've said it a few times here. It's been a rough one. It's been somewhat messy. It's been brutal, but it has been Rockingham, and that is what this place is known for. So, pace truck is going to pull in here in just a moment. Field in the hands of David Westergreen. He takes the inside line once again on the restart. Must have liked it last time, so he's going to take that again, and there he goes. I got to think that the inside line, I don't think it's as strong as the outside line. They don't. The restarts down there for Westergreen have not been as good as they have been on the outside line. Here comes Noah Brown on the outside to maybe look on the outside of Westergreen off of turn number 2, the battle for the lead. Yes, he is there, so Westergreen is going to have to contend with a 65 for the win. And through 3 and 4, Brown on the outside line. That's going to be the preferred groove, I think. Oh, some contact on Westergreen there. I think David will appreciate that one too much, but down into the turn 1 and 2.
Oh,
then
contact behind him,
sideways.
Ryan Borges. I mean,
down the end of the race.
If you're Noah Brown at this point, you need every point you can get, and he's going to get no.
God, that was almost trouble.
You're going to need to not have that happen, is what you're going to need if you're Noah Brown, and it's not going to be popular with driver number 9. I'm sure Noah Brown's best bet is to just head down, drive away, do what he can. But, they're in the wall behind him, Ryan. And Borges taking contact, Caleb Kumer almost got a piece. 5 laps to go. Noah Brown's going to have to get away from driver number 9. I think he might be in jeopardy here.
Yeah, it almost might be imperative for him to let that 9 car by if David Westergreen gets to him, because Noah Brown has a lot more to lose in this situation than Westergreen does. So you don't want to do that as a race car driver, but either way, Noah Brown showing that he is not afraid to get the elbows out and make a little bit of
the wall, both of them. Here comes Caleb Kumer.
That's not going to be good for either of them, but David Westergreen into turn number 3 on the bottom side there. That might be the saving grace for Noah Brown, because that's going to be... I think Noah Brown might be a little bit damaged here. That's going to affect his speed through 1 and 2 here. There he goes. Definitely losing a little bit of grip And I think Caleb Pekumer might be in the catbird seat right now. That car looks like to be the cleanest down the backstretch. He's going to look on the outside, but Noah Brown doing a little bit of blocking here, and that's a dangerous spot to be in, Ty. I don't know if I want to put my fate in the hands of other drivers like that, but he sure is. And 2 laps to go.
Yeah, he's
hurt bad. Issue there. That was always going to happen. Sideways. Noah Brown on the inside.
Noah's got a huge run back.
Still trying to gather it up. He is damaged almost beyond repair. Noah Brown getting the elbows out here through turns 3 and 4. Here comes Pekumer on the inside. Going to make the move here.
No!
Noah Brown got run there up at turn number 4, and now it's going to be Pekumer and Borges for the win here. Borges on the outside of Pekumer through 1 and 2. David Westergreen there in 3rd position. It's going to be between these two, I think, through turns 3 and 4. Pekumer on the inside, Borges on the outside. Who's it going to be? Borges. They're side by side. They're beating and banging side by side. And photo finish.
Borges.
I think it was Borges at the line. Oh, wow.
My goodness.
Everything happened in those last 5 laps. I still don't even.
The one thing that Noah Brown could not have happen, the only thing, and it happens, and I don't know. I don't know if that's going to put him out. It might not, looking at who he's around. But, I mean, we look at it off of turn 4 here. Caleb Pekumer with a run. Noah Brown went to go down the racetrack. It looked like they kind of both made a move. Noah made a lot more of a swing. So he might have turned himself off of the nose of Caleb Pekumer. That sends him to the inside line all the way into the, into the inside wall. And then here comes Ryan Borges, David Westergreen, both ready to pounce and get a better look at it here with a little bit of a slower replay. Yeah, I think Noah just maybe a little bit of a lapse in judgment, not knowing exactly where Caleb was. And then Ryan Borges here, pretty significant contact I didn't really see there with the right side of Caleb Pekumer. Yeah, it gives him the top side. I mean, that was kind of ball game there. I think once Ryan Borges knew he had the top side, he had the advantage all the way through 3 and 4. Caleb tosses it in. Ryan rides it up. David was kind of just waiting for something to happen. It never really fell in his lap, but good golly, Miss Molly.
Yeah, well, I'd have to say, why don't we go ahead and just have one more break here? Let's have a moment to clear our throats and get our voices back after that crazy last 5 laps, and we'll be back with the top 3 here in just a moment.
The Lucas Oil School of Racing. Simply stated, we are the professional ranks where the quality of the equipment often dictates the outcomes, and all of our cars are designed to perform and race as close as humanly possible. None of our competitors will have an advantage from engineering tactics. Rather, you will compete on a completely level field with a score of immensely talented up-and-coming drivers, all pushing each other to reach their new heights in their respective pursuit in becoming a professional race car driver. Every year, our top-performing graduates move on to the professional racing ladders of IndyCar, F1, and IMSA. Whether drivers compete in 1 or 2 seasons of our series, when they are ready to move on, they are ready to move. The training you receive in our school is an unmatched, unforgettable, first-class education combining the very best racing instruction and education.
This is Bobby Bolin from Tom Bolin Ford, and I have huge news for you. Right now, we are offering interest rates as low as 3.99 on most of our used cars. That's right, 3.99 happening right now. And it gets even better. These used vehicles come with the Bolin Lifetime Powertrain Warranty, giving you protection for the long haul. This is your chance to save big with incredible rates and shop our wide variety of trucks, vans, SUVs, and cars. Only at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
Tickets for the 2026 Season of Speed at Worldwide Technology Raceway are on sale now. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 and Celebration of 66 Festival, June 6th and 7th. The NASCAR Cup Series Enjoy Illinois 300, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Confluence Music Festival, September 11th through 13th. And the NHRA Napa Auto Parts Midwest Nationals, October 2nd through 4th. Save big by going to WWTRaceway.com.
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
All right. Welcome back to the Rockingham Speedway here after a photo finish to end the race, and what a finish it was. Ryan Borges over Caleb Kumer. The gap 16 1,000ths of a second. You see it right there on your screen. And while we let the drivers get situated, I believe Mc Intosh has caught up with our third place finisher, Mr. Dave Westergreen.
David, it's type at the booth, buddy. Got a copy?
Unfortunately.
I know it wasn't the way you wanted. I talked to you pre-race, and you were pretty excited about the race, and you played a pretty good strategy there, staying out and making it work, getting 4 freshies, and ultimately just, I know maybe not the way you wanted to be raced, but walk us through your night.
No, racing was fine. I mean, we ran hard for the lead. I needed them to stay green, man. I had it under control every restart. 2 races in a row in this series that I had the lead on the last restart and threw it away with my lane choice. So I'm gonna have to figure something out there. But man, we were pretty dang fast, man. That was fun. I like racing Caleb and Ryan and Gavin and all of them. It was fun. I mean, I could tell it was going to be a good night when we got clear a couple laps in, and we're a second and a half ahead of everybody. We were just riding. And I was like, okay, well, it's going to be a good night. Couldn't believe the tires held on though, man. How about that? That was weird. They didn't feel bad at all, and I mostly just rode around until the last couple of runs. Just stinks, man. Been like 200 races or something now without a win in this series. We're close, but just sucks.
I will say, you looked a lot better, especially on those old tires, by the time we got about 20 laps into that run. I mean, we thought you'd be swatting flies. We looked on your onboard, and you were kind of keeping it calm. Is that something you felt like you did a lot better than everybody else? I mean, obviously, you were quicker than them on older tires, so I'm sure you did. But as far as the comfortability, was that something that you could feel?
Yep. I felt like entering turn 3, I gained time on everybody all around. It was a fun night. I felt like it was worth saving, but then if you could just run the bottom, that was all the saving that needed to happen, because the top was faster, but it cooked the tires, so everybody was trying to go for the bottom and race behind you, and it was already hard to pass, so you just had to wait till somebody got close and go to the top. And guess who didn't go to the top at the end of the race, man?
No, it's not the way you wanted it to end, but bright side, if it's considered to be one, you're in the chase, everything resets, and I think it's next week we head to Las Vegas. So how do you feel about your chances there, getting a clean slate, focusing on these next 5 races?
I can figure out how to qualify, and I did tonight, thank God. Then I'll be in great shape. I was really good at Atlanta. I was really good at Texas until we got wrecked by a certain producer in here, but it's okay. It should be fun running another mile and a half in this car. This car's been really good this year. I think it's funny because this is honestly about the worst handling the car has felt. It's felt more like it felt real tight in the center of the corner, and then you could spin it if you were in the gas too much coming off the corner. And with no tire wear at Rockingham, it was a little weird. But next week should be a kind of a packish race. Think back to Atlanta. It was a really good race. It was really fun. It makes a lot of passes go everywhere. I'm excited for that. This ARCA car's been really good. Here's hoping we can run up front next week and start the chase off right.
All right, buddy. Well, before we let you go, anybody want to shout out, give thanks to?
I sure do. Pushkin the cat is on the hood of the car. It is a Patrick Sheltra throwback to like 2010 or so. And for all the South Shore Racing guys, the guys over at Lake Norman too, they're always helpful. Ray for painting the car. Ray Bracey, he ran with us a couple of times this year, and it's always good to have him in with the team and painting the cars, because I always have a really good looking car in these races. And Bite Size Sports, Traders Brewing Company, Batflip Podcast. Go check all those guys out. And hopefully we'll be back next week talking to you guys again in Atlanta, Las Vegas.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you go celebrate. And well, I say celebrate. I mean, it's top 3. You made the chase. No. It's not really a celebration, but
we're not going to be celebrating.
Hopefully hear from you in a couple better spots next week.
Yeah, that's the goal. Thanks, buddy.
That was David Westergreen, 3rd place finisher.
All right, and I got Caleb Kumer here. Position number 2 finisher. Grab him up here. Caleb Kumer, this is Cam Rich in the booth. Get a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, not a super high stakes race for you tonight. You were locked into the chase, so it was all vibes, and vibes it sure was. What a race. You were up there all night, star on the pole. It actually took 10 races for us to get our first repeat pole winner of the season, so interesting little factoid there. But
Well,
I mean,
shoot.
we loved what we saw tonight. Tell us about it from your eyes.
Man, it was a really fun race, and like you said, I knew I was in the playoffs, and there's a full point reset. So, I mean, I was just here to have fun and hopefully help one of my guys on our team just try to get into the playoffs, which I think Austin has solidified his spot. He was on the bubble there, so we got that done. It sucks we couldn't get the win at the end, but I mean, it was just clean, hard racing at the end. I don't know. I haven't watched anything back, but it seemed like Noah maybe I tried to keep it close to his door, and it looked like he tried to block me, and he ended up getting turned there at the end. And I didn't mean to. I would never turn somebody on purpose. So, yeah. I mean, for the majority of the race, it was a little bit frustrating for me just because I felt like I had better tires than David and Noah. But every time my tires would start to work, the caution would come out and everybody would go pit. And but we ended up running in the front in the end. So yeah, overall, I'm happy.
Yeah, to bring up the fact that you said we have a full points reset. So there's really no difference between first and 14th for anyone in the field. Everybody will start on the same points. But
Yep.
looking at our 5 chase races here, we got Vegas, Portland, North Wilkesboro, Charlotte, and Homestead. I'm assuming that you're probably going to be looking forward to Portland a little bit because you were the fastest car here at the last road course race we did, the only road course race we've done so far at Detroit. But how are you feeling about those 5 events?
To be honest, I mean, I feel confident. I mean, I don't think there's a track in that list that I would say I'm terrible at. I feel pretty decent on road courses. I think, when we were running Detroit, or was it Detroit?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, we were running Detroit, and there was a lot of fast guys, and I ended up just keeping the cleanest car. So depending on how clean the race is at Portland, we'll see what happens. Of course, I feel confident about it. I do feel pretty decent at road courses, but we got Dylan on our team. He's also really good at road courses. Austin's on the come up with road courses, so it'll be interesting. But yeah, the full points reset really, I mean, that changes everything, because winning the regular season doesn't really mean anything when it comes to the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to try to, prioritize everything, and I'll definitely be practicing. So hope everybody's ready.
Absolutely. I know we are. It was one of the, it was messy. It was messy and brutal there. But at the end there, some of the best racing we've seen all season in this series. So definitely looking forward to see what we get at Las Vegas. But before we let you go, any sponsors or shout outs?
Yeah, man, just big shout out to Bojo. Big shout out to JD Designs for making the pig scheme. Shout out to all the Lake Norman guys. Shout out to Bite Size Sports. I mean, a lot of guys to thank, Shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast. I'll definitely be watching this one back. I got to watch the end of that race. I mean, it felt awesome in the driver's seat. So I think that pretty much sums it up.
Well, awesome. We'll let you go celebrate that second place finish. The closest finish in this season in ARCA, 16 1,000ths of a second. So shades of 2004 when 10-year-old, or I guess 9-year-old me at the time was devastated by Casey King losing to Matt Kenseth. But little did we know that was the last Cup race we were going to see at this racetrack for at least a little while. There's still hope for it now, though. So awesome to see.
It's a good track. We'll see. Yeah,
Great.
It's a good track.
Absolutely. Yep. Appreciate you talking to us, Caleb, and thank you for good race out there.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
That was Caleb Kumer, your second place finisher, and now Ty's going to get you a word with our winner, Ryan Borges.
Ryan, buddy, it's Ty for the booth. You got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Well, man, you just put on one of the best finishes I've ever been able to have the pleasure to call, and it was pretty exciting. Walk us through that. I mean, I know that probably felt insane in the cockpit. I could tell you from up here, it was awesome to watch, man.
Yeah, it was kind of, it was pretty chill on my side of things. I just kind of was riding there and just I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna be able to go from fourth to first. I just gotta hope they get into each other and I get a opening, and that's kind of exactly what happened. I just I know I got put up into the wall, I think with 5 or 6 to go, and I had a little bit of wheel damage, but I think it was still driving fine, just running the top. I mean, that whole race, anyone that kind of just was able to run the top decent enough could just prevent anyone from passing them. So, like I was saying, I was kind of just stuck in fourth, just kind of hoping to make it to the line without getting caught up in anything. And then I saw Noah get turned off the nose of Caleb, and all of a sudden I'm side by side with Caleb coming to the checkered flag. And I just going into 3, I'm like, all right, if I run this all the way up to the wall, he's just going to slide job me and prevent me from winning this race. So I tried to pinch him down like as much as I possibly could without kind of screwing myself over, and just drag race him to the line and not let him cut too far to the apron to cut the distance off. And yeah, it made it happen. It was fun. I was just like, I was saying to them, I'm like, oh, it wasn't really a race I thought I was going to win or deserved to win, but I won it, so that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think for one that you could certainly find yourself up there scrapping for, I think this couldn't have been a better one for you. You know, you look at the momentum heading into the playoffs. Well, I say the chase, not the playoffs anymore. But how do you feel re-racking for next week and the rest of the chase going forward? I mean, you've been a top 5 guy every race so far, so I would imagine that won't change. But how does this change your momentum going forward?
It makes me feel a lot more confident, because I was kind of like, man, I have been close in a lot of these races, and it just seems like I've been just a tick off, or something would happen where I just can't quite get to the lead, and then to finally win one it's cool, and I feel like I can definitely compete for more wins going forward here in the playoffs. And I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't even look at the schedule for the playoffs, but I'm assuming it's assuming it's all ovals, so you know, it should be
Bad
zero
news.
course.
We do go to Portland for the second race, but other than that, it's all ovals.
All right. I mean, Portland's not horrible. I've run there before, so no, I'm confident. I think I could definitely race with these guys week to week, and just gotta maximize points and minimize incidences. Like last week, like that was a disaster for me. I should have just taken my 5th place and finished the race. But no, just going forward, just making sure to get consistent finishes and finish up in the top 5, and it should be exciting.
Here, buddy. Well, before we let you get out of here and celebrate this win, anybody you want to shout out and give thanks to?
Yep, just gotta thank Shift Esports, Seth Rawls Designs. Shout out to my teammate in the race, Connor, for all of, or not shout out, just feel bad for Connor for all the bad luck he's had in this race and a bunch of these past other ARCA races. I know, hope it'll turn around for him, but he's just in the chat. He's like, someone just wrecked into me again. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, you gotta change the paint scheme or something. Like, that's got to be the problem. But no, just shout out to my Shift teammates, and thank you guys up in the booth for putting all these broadcasts, and looking forward to the playoffs here.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck next week and forward. Hopefully we get to speak to you a couple more times before the season's over.
Sounds good. Hope so too. Thank you.
That was Ryan Borges, your race winner. Cam, I mean, I think that was just what we expected on a drama scale, but that finish was a lot better than I think we were expecting.
Oh yeah, the stakes were high going into tonight, and it sure delivered. I mean, this track over the years has just been incredible for what we saw, the multi-groove racing, and I mean, even beating and banging, which on a 1 mile track is not something you typically always see. But either way, just a great race all around. And I guess real quick before we head on out of here, we can go ahead and let you know your 14 tentative drivers for the chase. And we don't have a graphic for it, unfortunately, but we can just name them off. Caleb Kumer, Dylan Javier, Corey Abbott, Jimmy Hayden, Caleb Pocock. They were all locked in before tonight's race. Ryan Borges, he's your winner. He locks himself in. David Westergreen, Javid Racimus, Harrison Talion, Gavin Higgins, Andrew Cardcastle, Austin Nabnett, Jacob Adams, and Noah Brown is your 14th driver heading into the chase. So all of those drivers will have a shot at the championship for the Infinity Graphic Designs Dev Series. And Noah Brown, obviously, probably happy to see that. Just unfortunate situation at the end for him. He was leading there and with 2 to go and was in the inside wall with 1 to go. So just I have to agree with you, Ty. Maybe just a little bit of a lapse in judgment or something like that, but not ultimately going to be something that is going to keep him from the championship hunt. All these drivers going to start with the same amount of points heading into next week, so going to be a straight fight. So I'm excited. You know, it's there's no one race playoff or anything like that. It's just going to be 5 straight races to determine our champion for the year. And I'm excited. It's been a great year up to this point, and I'm sure the last 5 are going to be great. But I believe that's all we have for you guys tonight. From myself, from Ty, from Chris Wright. You guys have a great night.